Okay, everybody, welcome to Phil's Place. Thank you for joining us. For those of you who are taking advantage of this live stream, Jorge Molinero is our guest. He resides in Sevilla, España, and we're going to be talking about Spain's national team. We're going to be talking about the importance of football in the country of Spain, like it is all across the world. We're going to talk about, in my opinion, the chances of Spain, at least reaching the semifinals, probably the finals. I'll let Jorge, comment on that. And Jorge, thank you for joining. How are you doing?
Hello, Philip, and
Thank,
everyone.
thank you
Great.
for
Thank you. Thank you very much for
thank you
invite
too.
me.
And we have to thank Christina Alvarez who hooked us up. I believe her and Nacho are hopefully watching. I gave them the link. Um, excuse me. And yeah, I really appreciate her hooking us up. I'm taking on this initiative to bring an international perspective, to bring the world to my podcast. I think is a very important thing to do. And the World Cup is the absolute perfect topic to do this for this initiative. So, okay, Jorge, let's get started here. You are a lifelong soccer fan, football fan. I know that you follow the Spain national team very closely. You're wearing your
Hmm.
scarf from the
Yes,
Euro Cup. In which year was that? 2020. Okay. Yeah, 2020, which got pushed back 1 year because of the pandemic.
exactly. It's
Right.
Spain,
Yes.
Sweden
Yes.
in Seville.
Yes. At
Or
the
that.
Estadio de la Carhuta, right? Is that how you pronounce that?
Cartuja. Yeah,
Cartuja. Okay. All
yeah.
right. I know. And that's actually Real
I'm
Betis.
gonna take it because it's really hot here, so it
Oh,
was just
true.
for
True.
to show you
I
Spain.
appreciate you, showcasing that. I know that
Okay,
that's the temporary stadium for Real Betis as Villa Marine is being remodeled right now.
working.
Their
Yeah,
home stadium. Um,
exactly.
okay, so anyway, with Spain's national team, we have a loaded roster. I'm looking at the roster I have right here, and these are players who are just world class, in my opinion. And when they made the selections, De La Fuente, were you happy with the roster he put together?
Yep. Really, I think that more or less everyone knows. Maybe you can have in your mind like one, two, three players different. For example, Fornals he did with the Real Betis an amazing season, or Hudson, the central back from Real Madrid. But it's just people that could be in the team. The team maybe is like 30, 35 players that can be perfectly in the World Cup, but more or less are the same level. So it's just depending about the coach. And it's true that this coach that was before in the with the younger people from Spain. So he has been before with the senior. He was with the under 21 and things like that. And he really believed in the team, and he really believed in his own team. So almost all the players that he have now, he has been coaching them before. So we have to think that he really think this national team like a almost like a club, like a team that they have been working together since a lot of years. So that's one of the reasons, because sometimes just prefer to have someone that he has worked before with him, for example. Then in general in Spain, there are not much controversy about this. It's true that there are no players from Real Madrid, and that's really strange.
Right. I wanted to ask you about that. Right.
But the thing is that no national player has been doing a good job this year in Real Madrid. So they have Carreras, but he hasn't played a lot. Hudson is really good, but he has not have a good season, and he wasn't even titular. And who more? So the thing is that Real Madrid right now have a big stars all around the world, but not from Spain.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah. For
definitely,
example,
people overall
Mbappe.
from Madrid, they have talked about a little controversy, but not much. Not much,
Right.
because they know that it's not a star that is not playing this year. So
So the chemistry is there already with with the players, with the coaching staff, and they've proven they can gel very well. They can play together very well on the same page. With what format are they going to be using anyway? Is it going to be a 4-2-3-1? Is it going to be a 4-3-3?
Well, just before talking about that, it's not only that they know how to play, they know how to win.
Right.
Because Spain won the last Euro Cup with it was really unexpected, playing against all the World Cup winners, Italy, England, German, France, and beating all these teams. So that's one of the point to feel that this team can do something very strong, can be something interesting in the World Cup.
Yes.
I think that he's gonna play probably a 4-4-2 or 4-5-1
Okay.
because definitely Spain, like in 2010, is all about the midfield.
Right.
Or before was Xavi Iniesta. We say Xavi Iniesta vaya fiesta, what a party. They sing that in the stadiums.
Okay.
And right now we have the Rodri, the golden ball, no? And we have Pedri, probably one of the best midfield right now
Yes,
in the world.
absolutely.
We have Subimendi that has been really well in Arsenal. We have a lot of talent there, and in
Right.
Spain depends a lot about the midfield, and depends if you are putting in the midfield Lamine Yamal or like a striker. That's uh, that's Spain midfield and Lamine Yamal right now, and a team. That feeling that we have a team that is very important because a lot of good players don't make a team. A team is done with other things.
That's
So
great. I'll tell you what, I watch a lot of soccer, obviously. I've been a fan, gosh, for international play going back to 1986. It was the first time the World Cup was actually broadcasted here in the United States. And obviously, I became immersed with Diego Maradona out of Argentina, um, because of how good he was. And then it just stuck from there as far, as my love and passion for the game. But in 2024, watching Spain, and that was my introduction to Yamal. He was 16 years old when that tournament started. He turned 17, I believe, closer to the final towards the championship game. And holy jeez, did he impress me. He impressed the world, anyone who was watching. And I just could not get over. I still can't get over how much talent he had as a 16-year-old. And obviously, he's become better as he's getting a little bit older. Keep in mind, he's what, 18 going on 19, for this World Cup. And that's baffling. That's just, when you think of all the other players who need time, which is normal, to get that skill set to that international level, that international making the national team. The average age, I don't know what it is, but I'm guessing it's probably 25 or 26, perhaps. So one of the things I like about the Spanish team, it's Yamal. I mean, I can't wait to see him play. But he's injured, isn't he?
yeah, he's injured, but it's supposed he's gonna be ready for if not the first game, the second game.
Right, right.
So yeah, it depends a lot of about Lamine because it's the when all is like really, really is gonna be competitive games, all are very equal because at the end there is just some players that have that capacity to change everything, and Lamine is definitely one of them. There are obviously another ones. No, I don't know. Olise and right now is getting crazy or Dembele or things like that. But Lamine, when you see Lamine, you see something special.
Right.
You can only watch a game just to see what he's gonna do, and that's happening only with the select ones, with Messi, with well, Maradona, of course, and things like that. It's not like I mean, we have to be. He's only 17 years old or
I know.
18 years old right now, so we have to wait and see. His mind is not easy to be that famous and rich with that age, and but he plays like no pressure at all. And he say, I don't have any pressure. So It's amazing, and it's true, and you can see. And then the level of the quality that he has in
Of
the
his
controls, in the pass, to understand the game. That's really impressed because to have a lot of to be speed, the speed, or to have high quality skills, that can happen with 17 years old. But to understand the game, to understand if you now have to run or you have to stop, you have to pass. That's much harder. He understands the game.
very
So
mature, and that's innate. That's he's born with that. You know, a lot of players have to learn that, and it seemed like he just was born with a very, very high football IQ, which is just so impressive. I love watching him play. Um, so we have the first match is being played on 15 June, and they're playing Cabo Verde, an African team. Um, the game is being played in Atlanta, Georgia, and they're playing in one of the best stadiums, one of the best venues throughout the World Cup. The benefit of playing at Atlanta Stadium is that there's a retractable roof, and in the southern parts of the United States, it gets very, very hot and very like humid, very muggy. Uh, but I would imagine the roof will be closed. They'll have a very comfortable temperature to play, and I don't know if you know anyone that is going to any of the matches, um, in the
Spanish
States.
guy,
I'm sorry?
Spanish guy, you mean
Yeah,
supporters?
any of your friends in Spain that are going?
Not really. Not
No?
really.
Okay.
The one point that they have to check is about the crazy prices that everything in life has, but about tickets, about the World Cup, about the public transportation, about everything in United States, I think is crazy. I mean,
It's insane. It's
it's insane.
absolutely
It
insane.
has no sense. If you want to have the supporters there, you have to cross all the world to go, and then you have tickets like 500, 600. I don't
More than that.
understand really.
Yeah,
And more than that.
right.
So no, the answer. Well, I have one that maybe is invited, but he doesn't know yet. Just one person has say maybe he
Okay.
works in a big company, and he said that maybe they are going to invite him for a game,
Okay.
but only him. And I know I know some people that works in football that probably will go. But they are not close friends, but they are people just work with like agents and things like that, but there is not a movement from Spain to USA. I'm sure there will be fans in the games. The prices has been something that really has been a barrier to the people just thinking, let's go in summer to USA and watch the match.
Right.
Nah, it's too much.
Well, for example, the Canadian broadcasting company, CBC, based in Toronto. Toronto is one of two cities that Canada has as hosts. It's Toronto and Vancouver out on the west coast of Canada. Um, Toronto is hosting 6 matches at their stadium. Not one is sold out yet. Not one. I don't know about Mexico because there's 3 cities in Mexico. It's Mexico City, Monterrey, and Guadalajara. I haven't heard anything about ticket sales or anything like that in those 3 cities, but it is a struggle here in the United States as well to get people to buy the tickets because of the pricing. FIFA is gonna have to knock those prices down if they wanna show, because the showing, you have to have a sold out stadium,
Yeah. You can
that's
show
so
empty
important.
stadiums. That's the worst that can happen. So
That's
at the
never been
end,
an issue in the past, and it's gonna be very embarrassing for FIFA, it's gonna be very embarrassing for the United States, Canada, and Mexico, if none of these games sell out, but I have a feeling they eventually will. They're gonna have to knock the prices down, like you said, so,
or the
um
sponsor will begin to give tickets, everything, but the stadium can be empty, so they will do something.
right.
But at the end, we can go because you don't know if you want to buy in advance with the hotels that are really expensive right now everywhere, but in United States too. So it's sad that something that is for the fans is changing, and now is beginning to be just for the rich people.
It's all corporate.
So
It's all corporate.
yeah.
We run
So
into that with
definitely we don't like that.
no, we run into that with the Super Bowl, the NFL championship game. We run into that with well, the NBA finals that are coming up. The New York Knicks versus the San Antonio Spurs. I heard that ticket prices, at least in New York at Madison Square Garden, they're going for I've heard up to $10,000, like courtside. You know, if you want to sit
Yeah.
courtside, you're
Yeah,
spending
the best
10
tickets.
grand.
I mean, if the core side is 100,000, is okay, whatever. But you have
Right,
to have at least 30%, 40%, 50% of the stadium for normal people.
right, right,
You know that I understand that you can have like VIP areas that you can whatever. It's okay. Some people want to enjoy like that. It's okay. Of course, it's business.
right,
But come on, you need that the normal people can support the teams.
right.
No,
Exactly,
same thing. I don't
exactly.
know.
So when the World Cup is taking place and Spain is playing, are there watch parties in like say like a town square or like say Plaza de España in Sevilla? Will they have televisions set up for the public to come and watch and celebrate together?
Well, in the last European Championship, I think that there was in some cities, like
Okay,
in squares, big screen in squares.
right.
I haven't listened anything about the World Cup yet,
Okay,
but I guess that in some big cities there will be something, and definitely in bars and shit like that, too, the people can see together for sure. More being in summertime, that people will be in the beach and the street. So for sure, people will join. That Spain is more, and this is an interesting thing or different thing about Spain, that in general, the people in Spain are much more from the clubs than from the national team.
okay,
We, in general, we support much more our team, Sevilla, than the national team. Only in the small towns that they don't have a team, things like that, they are very from the national team.
okay,
And
okay,
when you in your city you don't have a very good team or something, so then you support the national team. That
okay,
happened. Um, right now, people is focused in the national team, is interested in the national team because we won the last European Cup, because we
right.
won. We have a good team. We have very good talents. So people right now is supporting the national team more than in other times that people is not that much interested. But right
Okay.
now it's true that the people is. But for example, Argentina that you were talking yesterday, I guess. They are very, very from their national team. They
Oh, big
feel it.
time, big time.
They feel it. They is the most important for them. Here is not that much. I mean, definitely we support national team. We celebrate. We go. We try to go to support. But in general, you now listen the radio programs about sports, and first they talk about Real Madrid, Barcelona, the clubs, and
Right,
then
right.
about the national team.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. Okay. So since you brought it up, you talked about how you support Sevilla, and you know that I support Betis. Let's talk about just for perspective, the El Gran Derby, you know, and how big that is in the city of Seville, and
It is.
the build up to when they play each other twice a year in each stadium. What's your comment on that? I want to get your perspective on that.
Well, it's the worst game in the year. It's the game that you always suffer. It doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter who is better. You are gonna suffer a lot because you don't enjoy. You just want that finish because it's a lot of pressure in this city. We are Seville, around 800,000 people. Everyone when born, like 90%, you have to. Your father will tell you which is your team, Sevilla Betis, and now it's becoming a really serious thing in this city. So we, it's a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure. I mean, you know that all your friends and everyone is gonna be talking about this. If you lose, you are going to listen a lot of things during the next weeks, even up to the next game in 6 months, more or less. So yeah, I think that this is nice. Is the to have this opposite team to have this rival is Is something good for the city. Is more fun? Can be more interesting. But for me and for almost everyone that really enjoy the football, it's like a game with the Betis or a game with Sevilla. No much to win, a lot to lose. You know,
Right.
when you win, you're happy, but if you lose, it's harder. It's hard.
We have absolutely nothing like that in the United States. There's nothing
Uh,
that can compare to El Gran Derby or when all these other, derbies that take place, not just in Spain, but in other countries. We were talking about that yesterday with my Argentinian friends because they have their derbies and they said it can be violent um, down there, so I don't know
well,
how far it goes in El Gran Derby, but I
well,
understand the
here we have, in general, in Spain, almost all the team has radical fans.
Mhm,
That is a problem. It's not a huge problem like it was long time ago in Spain or in England, things like
right,
that. But
right.
things happen, and every club has stupid people. That's
That's
sad.
true.
That's happened.
We have stupid people over
Um,
the world, so
yeah, but with the games, sports, with the values, but that happened.
right.
So derby is not. I don't think it's a really dangerous thing. It's
Okay,
a but it's not violent things. But and normally you can go to the other stadium. Not many people goes, but you can go to the stadium with your opposite, your different stadium, the opposite, the rival. But it's not about violence, but it's about really intense and deep feelings and suffering.
right. I know play was suspended, when Sevilla played at Betis because players were throwing basically just, plastic bottles onto the pitch, um
Yes, things have happened, but
Right,
it's not normal.
right,
It's not normal. There was some years, there was some problems, but right now it's not that problem. It's a very intense game, but normally in the 95% is no more than that. Just very
right.
intense, but that's all. It's sport.
Now, what happened that night, that happens here quite a bit, it happens in university football games. It happens professional, sports leagues, not just American football. It can happen in baseball. Hockey has a tradition where when a player scores 3 goals in a game, a hat trick, I know the hat trick term is used in soccer too. People throw their hats on the ice. That's been a long, long tradition. That's innocent. They just take some time off to clean the ice off with all the hats, but that's out of celebration, not frustration. So, um, but I did, I'm glad that there were no major incidents, with El Gran Derby, because
Yeah.
sometimes when I read, depending on what I'm reading, sometimes journalists have a way to escalate, what could happen. They blow things out of proportion, obviously. So,
No, it's not really a big problem. Can
okay.
happen things, but no. It's more about all the intensity in the game.
Right.
And what I'm telling that is a game that not finish in the 90 minutes. It's gonna be 6 months of game. So everyone's yeah, but you lose 3-0. Yeah, whatever, but you lost 3-0. You are like, okay,
Bragging
again.
rights. It's just bragging rights is what it is. Yeah. Which is pretty cool. Okay, do you wanna let's get back to the roster, Jorge. Who you think the starting 11 is to be? I'm gonna go by position. Um, the one thing that I was at my nephew's house watching the Champions League final, and the conversation that we had at his house, and when I was texting my friends who follow soccer here, the 3 goalkeepers, for Spain could be starting goalkeepers for any country. They're stacked, absolutely stacked. My guess is gonna be Unai Simon, who will be the starting goalkeeper. Is that true?
Looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, probably is the no. I mean, they are the three are very good
Right.
goalkeepers, but is again De La Fuente player. He has been with him. He hasn't failed him. He has won with him, so probably he will be the titular. But we have Raya, the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, and we
For
have
sure.
Joan
Yes.
Garcia, the best goalkeeper in the national in the La Liga.
Right.
So we don't have problems in the goalkeeper for sure, and probably is gonna play the worst of the three.
Okay.
But he has played all really well for Spain, so I understand that he can if he's playing. But for just if you select the best goalkeeper, probably is Raya right now,
He
or
played
it's
great
gonna be Juan Garcia.
in the game against PSG. He played so well. He has it seems like to me he can read anytime that there's a like a rush of the opposing team coming down. He has a way to read where the ball is going to be passed, cuts down the angle. He
He's
came out
fast.
close to
He's very
the end of
fast.
the box and made a tremendous save in what could have been a goal, should have been a goal for PSG. Later in that match, and my
He's
friends are
not
like,
good in
"Oh,
penalties. At least the
this
other
guy
day
knows what he's doing."
he wasn't the best.
You can
But
trust him. You can trust him. So what a luxury that is for De La Fuentes, to have 3 guys that you can rely on, no problem.
hmm,
That's what we call a good problem. Who are you starting?
yeah,
So, all right, now
definitely that's not a ball.
let's go to the backfield. Who do you see as in the format? There's always going to be 4 players playing back. Um, who are going to be the top 4? You mentioned Porto, I believe, and who do you think is going to be the main 4?
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I think in the left is, I guess, Cucurella, because Cucurella is playing well, and he has been playing all the big games and tournaments with him.
Right, he plays in Chelsea.
Uh, then yeah, exactly from Chelsea. Probably Cubarsí and Laporte can be the central.
Okay,
Um, and for the right, I'm not sure. There's Pubil from Atletico Madrid. He has never played with Spain, and he call him for this tournament. But he has played really well. Pubil more in the central than in the right, but he can play in both.
okay,
And we have Marcos Llorente. So let's say Marcos Llorente
mm-hmm.
from Atletico Madrid,
Right,
but Pubil for the right or for the central can be even he if he hasn't played already with Spain, he's playing really really well. So maybe that can be something new that
okay,
Pubil enter in the national. But if not, I say Cucurella, Laporte, Cubarsí, Marcos Llorente.
okay, all right, yep, that makes sense. Llorente out of Atletico Madrid, um, Cubarsí out of Barcelona, Cucurella out of Chelsea, and I'm missing one more. Did you say Laporte?
Laporte, yeah,
Okay,
he's now in
Athletic Club.
Bilbao, no again.
Where is that Athletic Club based? Where in La Liga? What city do they play out of?
Laporte,
The
Laporte. I think
Athletic Club.
In Bilbao.
Oh, in Bilbao. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay. All right. So we got our 4 for the backfield, and then midfield,
yeah.
um, loaded. I mean, I think you can
Probably.
start any of these
Yeah.
guys, to be honest with you, and it won't be a problem. Pedri's a given, right?
Pedri for sure. Rodri for sure. I mean, Rodri is true that he has been injured, but right now he's playing. So if it's not Rodri, it should be Mendy, but I think it's gonna be Rodri, Pedri, and probably Fabian.
Fabian Ruiz.
Yeah, that's in the
Okay.
center, and then 2 wings with for sure Lamine,
Yes.
and let's see in the left because Nico Williams has been injured all the season. He's not well.
Right.
So maybe enter more depending on the game. I think that he's gonna play more for the wing or more inside.
Right.
If he play with the wings, let's see, because maybe Jeremy Pino, one of the striker, has to go to the left. But if not, if he want to play more for the internal center, Alex Baena from Atletico Madrid
Right.
or Gavi if he want more muscle, or play with Subimendi and Rodri, like he used to play with Xabi Alonso and Busquets in the 2010. So many options.
Right.
if he has two wings, he likes to play with two wings. Lamine is for sure, but we right now, like, because Nico Williams is not in his top. I think that he maybe change and more, and is going to include someone more for internal than more from the wings. That's
Okay.
what I guess. I'm not
Okay.
sure. Sounds like that. It's very sad that we lost Fermin. Fermin with injury. Fermin was really important for this game, for this team, but he's not. So yeah, probably depends on the game. He are gonna try with someone more like a striker, like a Jeremy Pino, for example, or someone for big games, probably more muscles like Gavi or things like that, or
Okay.
Subimendi and Rondri. That's what
Okay.
I guess.
Wow. This team
A
is
lot of
just
options.
it's loaded. This team is absolutely loaded. I can't wait for the games to start to begin with. But
Yeah.
I think Spain is going to be maybe the most fun to watch. To be honest with you, a
In
lot
the
of us,
Euro Cup, it was. Let's
right,
see right now, because no one is sure how the players are arriving to this World Cup after all the long season. It depends a lot about that, because we are talking about very small difference between players and teams. Just
right.
depend who is in the best team, in the best form in the season. So let's see. See. But I guess that we will, for sure, we will try to play like a team with a lot of pass, much more vertical than we used to be in 2010, more vertical with the wings. So more like Luis Enrique, like more than the national team with Xavi Iniesta. So yeah, and I think that he's gonna try that the midfield is the owner of the game. So with that, you need with Rodri, with Pedri, with Fabian, with you can put with Alex Baena, and then Lamine Yamal to have a very strong
Oh my
midfield,
gosh,
very strong.
right.
Then we have the strikers.
Yeah.
That is not our best position. But this year, Oyarzabal, that he scored the last game in the Euro Cup that we won. He has been playing with De La Fuente under 21 and all the stage. He has done a very good season, and he's good. So in Spain, is not well recognized. It's not like a big star in Spain. He's a good player, but everyone has seen that this season has been special for him. He's doing really well. He's doing not only scoring goals, but doing that the rest of the team play. And this with a very passing team like Spain is very good that the striker know how to play too. So they can play a lot. And I think Oyarzabal is going to be our titular, our former striker.
What
And
what
we have
what's gonna be
Fermin too.
what's gonna be intriguing too is, you're
Ferran,
talking
sorry,
about
Ferran.
right, you're
Yeah.
talking about, the midfielders controlling the game. They're the heartbeat of the team. When you see a pass that sometimes is so hard to thread through the defense, your striker has to have that timing, make sure he's not offsides, number 1, and, that's an art.
Yeah.
That's a true art, and,
Mhm.
I think that with what you're saying and how I'm interpreting what you're saying is, with the team chemistry, it sounds like that they will have, maybe certain plays set where, they're passing certain ways and then to push the ball forward and have it threaded into, towards the box and the striker's right there and he can just boot it in.
Well, different things. For example, for Spain, it's going to be really important that the midfield scores. So you need a striker that they are able to strike to goal, but they are able to play, and they have to understand the game. They have to have the last pass too, and Oyarzabal has it. Ferran, that is the other option, is he's very well looking for space. So he's very good, as you said, in the last pass. He knows how to do it with the outside. He really well in that. But Ojar understand really well the game. So he's able to do the game, the play, and then can score the midfield, or he
Right.
can see the spaces.
Okay.
So Yeah, and we have Jeremy Pino too. That he plays more in the wings, but he can be like second strike too. Um, who more? Well, Nico Williams. That let's see how is in the World Cup. So yeah, you have to choose. Is not the best line for Spain. Definitely the goalkeepers, the midfield, good defense, and good strikers. But the difference we have is probably the midfield for sure and the goalkeeper. They are the most important.
Right, right. And I guess really the toughest game they'll probably have in group play would be Uruguay.
Why? Yeah,
Right.
yeah, for
Without
sure.
question.
It's supposed the only. I mean, but you were talking about the humidity and the heat and all these teams with all the passion that they put it in first World Cup for them. So it's not going to be easy. Any game is not going to be easy. You can things can happen, but it's true that Cabo Verde and Saudi Arabia. I mean, if you are thinking in try to win the World Cup, you have to beat them. It's not.
Right,
It's not going to be easy, but the normal thing is that you win. Uruguay is always a hard game to play. They
right.
know how to play. They are
They
very,
do.
very good competitors. So they have a good team. They have Araujo, Valverde. They have very good players. So yeah, let's see. Let's see. We have to show that we can win. So we have to
Prove
prove.
it.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. I agree. The
and it's
I'm
gonna be a
looking
good game. Yeah,
the game against Uruguay is actually going to be played in Guadalajara. It's going to be hot as you know what there. The second game against Saudi Arabia also is going to be in
in Atlanta,
Atlanta.
no?
So the roof will be closed, for that match too. What's interesting with Spain's national team, they chose Chattanooga, Tennessee as their base camp. And when you look at the map, Atlanta is more like northern part of Georgia, but it's not far from Chattanooga. So they chose a really good location for their base camp, and they're going to be playing at a private high school. They're going to be practicing at a private high school that has the facilities necessary for them to be able to practice in full privacy and to stay in. It's not a large city, to be honest with you. But to be able to stay in a town where,
Relax.
they're not going to be bothered by anyone, you know, and that's going to be that was a great decision to choose Chattanooga based on location, based on everything else I just said. Some of these other like England and Argentina, for example, they're based in Kansas City, you know.
Yeah, big city.
Yeah, it's a larger city. And I found it to be a good decision. You can get on
Hmm.
a highway and drive to Atlanta in 2 hours from Chattanooga. It's not that far. So, um, any, thoughts, any other thoughts on, where Spain stands in group stage and who they may be playing in the first knockout phase?
Well, I'm not sure. I know that because at the end, and the Euro Cup show us is it doesn't matter. We play against Italy, Germany, France, and the proper play say it's like we don't care. I mean, if we want to win, we have to win everyone. So it doesn't matter. It's now over for sure. The luck is important. So I was reading that if Spain is the second in the group, probably they have in the first knockout round to Argentina. So Argentina can perfectly can win again the World Cup. I don't think so, but Messi is too much,
Right,
so can happen. And so definitely the luck is gonna be important in the championship. But I don't think that now has sense for the at least for the professional. For us that we enjoy, maybe yes, just to not to see all the stage. But for the professional, it's like let's try to win the first game and then the
right.
second and then the third.
It's inner
And you maybe
cliche.
you do everything right and then Argentina lose, so you are the first, and Argentina you have to play with Argentina. So it doesn't matter. You can play with that. It's not.
The
You
the
just have
standard
to focus and
Yeah, it's a
play,
standard
no?
cliche. You take it game by game, day by day. But I did the predictor, the World Cup predictor. It's a really good bracket where you choose each team to win each match. It's on the Telegraph, the newspaper based out of London. It's on their website. So I have for match 84, it'd be the round of 32, Spain playing Algeria. Um, and Algeria finishing whatever in their group. But to me, I think that's going to be the first match, in knockout stage. So we'll get there when that arrives. We're not going to worry about that right now. But
Yeah, well,
in my opinion, um, I do think that Spain has a great chance to win the World Cup. I'm not here
huh,
to jinx any country. I'm not here to jinx anyone. But to me, I think Spain has all the right players. And based on our conversation, they have the chemistry. They know how to play together. De La Fuente knows how to, manage this team, knows how to put the players in at the right time, right game, right situation, use his subs, in the right way as well, because any of these guys can come in who are on the bench and be a super sub, to be honest with
yeah,
you. There's no
yeah.
question about that.
No, and I think that you're right,
Mhm.
but exactly the same you can say with France.
Right. Oh, of
Exactly
course.
the same you can say even England, because they were the last Euro Cup very well. They are doing very well in under 21. They have a very good team and a very good
Right.
coach.
Right.
Uh, Argentina, just because it's Messi for sure. So it's true, but at the end, there are four, five, six teams, and I could tell you even 10 teams that can be in the fight. Four, five that definitely uh, they are more. The looks like they are gonna be for sure, but you need a little of luck in that moments. There are gonna be really stress games that if there has been a fail and makes you ruin everything. So that's the reason because it's really, really difficult to win a World Cup because in the knockout round, just a red card changes everything.
That's what I was just going to say, we a lot of us fear that, I know it's a conspiracy theory, but a lot of us, fear that there will be a fix in some of these matches,
Do you think so?
We're,
Well, that happens in the World Cup with the hostage. I mean, United States, Canada, Mexico, they try that they go a little bit far, that they don't lose in the first group. Historic, historical has happened.
yeah,
We, even with Spain, of course, in 82, in Mexico 86, that happened. Korea in
right.
the 2002, I think.
Well, as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, for example, okay, watching American football, we're convinced that the referees are always, throwing flags, for the other team, penalty flags, and that we feel like they don't know how to ref a game. So we're kind of tainted in that sense. But even like when we watched the game on Saturday, Arsenal PSG, a lot of us felt that, PSG was getting all the right calls, and that Arsenal was getting screwed over, and I had no skin in the game. I wasn't really rooting for one team over the other, because I don't really support either team. But I just felt that, personally, I thought it was officiated somewhat unfairly. Let's just say that, but just my opinion,
Yeah, yeah.
just my opinion. That's
Well,
that's all it is.
the referees are human too. They fail. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. But let's be positive. Huh?
That's what I try to do.
Let's think that the World Cup, yeah, and at the end, for sure, the FIFA would like that the best team are in the final rounds.
right.
So, and that happened. If you play German with Cabo Verde, Germany, at the end, the normal thing, the referee it has doubts. It's a big weight of history and everything. But
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
at the end, I'm sure that the team that will win the World Cup is gonna be fair. It's gonna be
It's
fair,
gonna be
and it's
fair, it's
gonna
gonna be
be the
clean, and
best
it's gonna
team.
be deserving. I do
Yeah.
know that. But, my other conspiracy theory real quick here is just that, you know, um the broadcasters want the best ratings, so they want the teams who they think are going to bring the best ratings, worldwide. We say that about the NFL.
Between Netherlands and England and France and Germany and Argentina and Brazil, it's more or less the same.
Right,
I think I'm not.
right.
I prefer not to be because we have so many problems. I don't say that there is a conspiracy in the World Cup.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
I know that you're right in the and I told you too that when it's a big thing and a small thing, everyone wants that the big thing wins. Well, everyone know the broadcast for the public attendance in the stadium for FIFA. It's true, but there are so many teams. And one thing to say that I think it's, 48 national teams. That's too much for a World Cup.
It is.
It's good. It's good in that Cabo Verde and all these very small countries
Curacao,
are really
Bosnia,
Uzbekistan.
Herzegovina,
Yeah, they're really happy
yeah,
and they are enjoying and participating. That's really good.
right.
But this World Cup will begin in the in the
The the
knockout round.
the
So
group stage is not gonna be so entertaining to watch, let's just say that,
no,
but when you
there
do
are
get
some interesting games. I
some,
have here Francia, Senegal, Brazil, Morocco. Very good games, but a
but
few.
not many though, but not many.
Not many, not many.
Um, the round of 32, I'm intrigued by, I'll be honest with you. Having that additional knockout phase, is intriguing, and I think there's gonna be quite a few upsets in that phase in round of 32 going into round of 16. And round of 16 is round of 16. I mean, you're gonna just what we're used to watching. So it's just basically an extra round. And even though it gives other countries an opportunity to participate, it's gonna be more of a moneymaker, more about ratings, is truly what it's about,
Yeah,
in
more
my
than
opinion.
100 games in a World Cup.
Yeah, and
Crazy.
and the only thing I like about it is it's more soccer to watch. So,
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
yeah,
We will enjoy. We will
right,
enjoy. I don't
right.
know if you enjoy the Cabo Verde Saudi
No,
Arabia game, but
I'll watch, but hey, one of my friends from college said to me, he's, taking his family. They're flying to Las Vegas, and they're taking an RV to go to some of the national parks and everything, and he said, "I was looking at the schedule for the games in LA," and he said he had no interest in watching, Switzerland play Bosnia in Los Angeles, because of his time, and he's, "I'm not spending money on that match." I said, "I don't blame you," although that will actually be a half decent match, but, take the RV, go up to Grand Teton, go up to Yellowstone, do your thing. So, any final thoughts, Jorge?
nothing. I really wanted to say you thank you very much, Philip,
Thank
for
you.
inviting me to talk a little bit. I hope that the viewers enjoy a little bit about our Spain in this World Cup
Absolutely.
and definitely with your program,
Thank
with
you.
your podcast.
Thank you.
No much more. Just Viva
Okay.
España. And
Viva España. Viva España.
yeah, and I
Sí,
hope that
sí.
everyone enjoy a good World Cup and there are no problems there and the people can enjoy and USA can enjoy more on this
Right,
beautiful sport.
right, right.
Um, no much more. Thank you so
Okay.
much for
Well, you
everything,
did a
Philip.
great job painting the picture of Spain's national team, talking about the chemistry and everything. I learned a lot from you, for sure,
Thank
and
you.
I really appreciate that on a personal basis. So Jorge, let's stay in touch, okay?
For sure.
And, looking forward to our conversations in the future, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day today.
Okay. Thank you very much, Philip.
Thank you very
Bye
much.
bye.
Take care now. Have a great
Adios.
night.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.